obstructive lung diseases, which are nothing but airway diseases. The obstructive lung diseases are characterized by increase in resistance to the airflow due to partial or complete obstruction at any level of the respiratory tract, any level from trachea to the alveoli. So the obstructive lung disease is due to the partial or complete obstruction of the airway. The forced expiratory volume at 1 second to the ratio of forced ventilatory capacity. If this ratio is less than 0.7, this indicates airway obstruction. Now let's see the different types of obstructive lung diseases. This is of 4 major types: emphysema, chronic bronchitis, asthma and bronchiectasis. Emphysema, the acinus is involved. Acinus is nothing but the respiratory bronchiole along with alveolar duct and alveolar sac. This is the terminal bronchiole, respiratory bronchiole and alveolar duct with sac. So this entire unit is called acinus. Respiratory bronchiole plus alveolar duct plus alveolar sac. In chronic bronchitis, the bronchus is involved. And also in asthma and bronchiectasis, the bronchus is involved. The emphysema and chronic bronchitis are the 2 major components of COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So COPD has 2 components, emphysema and chronic bronchitis. This is the major classification of obstructive lung diseases. Let's see the 4 obstructive diseases in detail. First is emphysema. Emphysema is defined as irreversible dilation of the acini. Acini are the air spaces distal to the terminal bronchiole, which includes respiratory bronchiole, alveolar duct and alveolar sac, as we have seen earlier, along with the destruction of their walls. So emphysema is irreversible dilation of the acini along with the destruction of their walls. Classification of emphysema. Emphysema is classified based on the segments of respiratory units that are involved. There are 4 major types of emphysema. Centri-acinar emphysema, also called as centri-lobular emphysema. Second is pan-acinar emphysema, also called as pan-lobular emphysema. Third is distal acinar emphysema, also called as paraseptal emphysema. And the fourth is irregular emphysema, also called as airspace enlargement along with fibrosis. The most common type of emphysema is centri-acinar emphysema, that is centrilobular emphysema, which accounts for more than 95% of the emphysema cases. And the irregular emphysema is clinically insignificant. Let's now see about the 4 types of emphysema. Involvement. In centri-acinar emphysema, the proximal parts of acini are involved, but the distal parts are spared. Pan-acinar emphysema. As the name indicates, pan is the entire acinus involvement. So there is uniform enlargement of the acini. In distal acinar emphysema, as the name indicates, the distal portion of the acinus is predominantly involved. Next is irregular. Here, as it is irregular, there is irregular involvement of acinus, and this occurs in small foci. This is about the involvement in different types of emphysema. Next is the location in lung. Centri-acinar emphysema, most common and more severe location is the apical segments of the upper lobe of lung. Pan-acinar emphysema, most common location is anterior margins of lower lobes, and the most severe is when it occurs at the base of the lung. Distal acinar, paraseptal emphysema, location is subpleural location, just under the pleura. It forms cyst-like structures, and it is most severe when it involves the upper half of the lungs. Irregular emphysema is irregular, and it is almost invariably associated with scarring. Next is association. The central acinar emphysema occurs predominantly in heavy smokers as COPD, that is emphysema along with chronic bronchitis. The pan-acinar emphysema is associated with alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. The distal acinar emphysema is associated with spontaneous pneumothorax in young adults in many cases. So this is about the 4 types of emphysema: centriacinar, pan-acinar, paraseptal and irregular emphysema. Let's now see about the pathogenesis of emphysema. The initiating factors are smoking or air pollutants along with genetic predisposition. This leads to 3 responses. First is oxidative stress, due to which there is increased apoptosis and senescence, that is aging. Second is the activation of inflammatory cells, leading to the production of inflammatory mediators. And the third is protease-antiprotease imbalance, that is there is deficiency of antiproteases. So the proteases are increased, which leads to the destruction of the alveolar septa. This protease-antiprotease imbalance is associated with congenital alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. All these 3 factors lead to the destruction of the alveolar walls. This is the pathogenesis of emphysema. Next is morphology. In advanced emphysema, there are voluminous lungs. That is, the lungs are very heavy and large. The upper 2/3 of the lungs are more affected. Next is microscopy. Microscopy, there are abnormally large alveoli because they are dilated, and the alveoli are separated by thin septa with focal centriacinar fibrosis. So in microscopy, there are abnormally large alveoli separated by thin septa with focal centriacinar fibrosis. Let's see about the clinical course of emphysema. The symptoms start appearing at least when 1/3 of the functioning pulmonary parenchyma are damaged. The first symptom to occur is dyspnea, that is difficulty in breathing, which is insidious in onset and it progresses steadily. In some patients, the chief complaints can be cough or wheezing, which can be confused with asthma. The characteristic symptoms or signs are barrel-shaped chest along with dyspnea and prolonged expiration. This is measured with the help of spirometry, as this leads to impaired respiratory airflow. Next, as there is severe over-distension of the acinus, this leads to over-ventilation. So, the lungs remain well oxygenated. Therefore, the people with emphysema are called as pink puffers. The characteristic symptom or sign of emphysema is barrel-shaped chest along with dyspnea and prolonged expiration, impairing the respiratory airflow. And the people with emphysema are called pink puffers. Next, death in case of emphysema can be due to coronary artery disease or respiratory failure or right-sided heart failure or massive lung collapse, which is secondary to pneumothorax. Finally, let's see about the treatment of emphysema. The best is smoking cessation, oxygen therapy, long-acting bronchodilators with inhaled corticosteroids. Next is physical therapy or bullectomy. This is performed in case of paraseptal emphysema as there are presence of bullae in the subpleural location of the lung. Next, in selected patients, lung volume reduction surgery or even lung transplantation is performed as treatment for emphysema. Nowadays, alpha-1 antitrypsin enzyme replacement therapy is being evaluated. This is about the treatment of emphysema. We'll see about the 3 obstructive diseases, which are chronic bronchitis, asthma and bronchiectasis, in our upcoming videos. Thank you.